This is my story. I don't know about y'all, but my story starts when I was born, because that's what's important to me, so we'll start there. I was born into a military family. Is there any military guys here? Aside from my brother. Oh, I guess not. Okay, so if you've never been in the military, my dad's family is a wonderful Christian family, but, you know, we move a lot. I was going to say this is the 10th place I've lived, but Washington is the 10th place I've lived, and if you keep me, this will be the 11th place I've lived. So we move a lot, and the one thing that meant relating to my spiritual life was we moved churches. So my parents were very good about getting in a church wherever we want, because, you know, they wanted the teaching and the fellowship with the other believers, but the one thing that I never got was we never stayed in a place long enough to really get to know the people. We moved every 22 months. 22 months was the longest we ever stayed anywhere until I went to Washington. But so that just, my entire relationship with the Lord developed around my family. My parents were, you know, God told them what to do, and they told me what to do, and all was good. You know, you just follow what your parents say most of the time, and you're good, you're covered, and it's all good. But my story is actually about another story, and this was a story I was reading. It's called Left Behind book series. It's a whole bunch of books, but I suggest you read it. It's very good. But I was reading it, and it's about this guy, and he becomes a Christian, and I read it, and I was like, there's something different about that. It struck me because this guy had a relationship with God. People say that all the time, but if you think about it, a relationship, like, I know Shipley here, and we're best buddies, and we have a relationship. That's not because I go to somebody else and say, hey, how is Shipley doing? And they tell me how Shipley's doing, and Shipley talks to me through them. It's not really like that. A relationship is you get to know somebody. Like, you talk to them all the time, and if you don't talk to them, then you don't know them anymore. And if you stop replying to their Facebook stuff, you don't know them anymore. They defriend you. But so what struck me was this guy was best friends with God, and you know, it's a little bit different than being best friends with someone else because he knows everything. So you talk to him about stuff, and he's like, I know, I can sympathize with you, and you don't go, no, you can't, because you know he can. So the one thing that amazed me about that though was it gave me a purpose. Like before, doing what your parents say is all well and good, but it's not nearly as glamorous as it sounds. If it sounds glamorous, but so. What amazed me about that is one thing that I always love to have is a purpose. If you enjoy doing something and you have something to do that you enjoy doing, that's just amazing. I don't know if any of you have a passion about anything, dirt biking, football, whatever. If you enjoy doing it and they give you a task to do and you enjoy doing it, that's just amazing. So something that God gave me when I made a personal deal with him was he gave me a purpose in my life. I said, Lord, if you'll take my sins away, which is what he does, he takes them away, because Jesus died for me. I said, Lord, you took my sins away, and I'm accepting that. So now I'm going to work for you. And he's like, all right, that's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. So now I work for God, and he's my boss. And it's amazing because he gives me all the best stuff to do because he knows exactly what I like to do. And he gave me the gifts to do the stuff that he wants me to do. And he says, do this. And I'm like, yes, I can do that. So that's my relationship with God. The other thing he gives to me is, you know, if you think about it, at the very beginning of the Bible, what does it say? In the beginning,
God created the heaven.
Okay, we have one person who reads. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, if you think about that, he created us right after that. So it's kind of like he created the whole world for us. Now, that means that everything he put here was for us to look at and go, that's awesome. And the person who made it is awesome. So it just gives you the ability to have pleasure in the little things. Like, I don't know, dandelions. Who here likes dandelions? I like eating dandelions occasionally. But,
Of course you do.
So, yeah. So it's a great deal. He sent Jesus, and when I say, Lord, take my sins away, Jesus died, and he took all my sins, and he died with them, so I don't have to pay that price, because that's the price I would have had to pay if I didn't make that deal. But I made the deal with him, and he takes them for me. So, yeah, it's a great plan. Life insurance, except not. Thank you. Bad analogy.